Let's face it, your dream home should never become your worst nightmare.
Hello, this is the HackHour podcast, a show where it's all about helping real, everyday, hardworking remodelers learn the secrets to having it all in life and business. And now, here's your host, Mike Minges.
Have you ever worried about finding the right remodeler for your dream project, or heard horror stories about unfinished work, wasted money, and even lawsuits? You're not alone. Home remodeling can feel like navigating a maze full of risks, but it doesn't have to be this way. Today, we're diving into the Consumer's Guide to Home Remodeling to uncover the hard truths, the pitfalls, and the steps to protect yourself and hire the right professional to bring your vision to life. Because let's face it, your dream home should never become your worst nightmare. Make sure before this podcast is over that you get your copy of the Consumer's Guide to Home Remodeling that the Remodeling Academy has put out. Go to renegaderemodeler.com. Welcome to the HackHour podcast. This is where we tackle the big challenges in home remodeling and we deliver the tools you need to navigate them, both for the contractor and, like in this episode, the homeowner. I'm Mike Minges. I'm the founder of the Remodeling Academy. With over 15 years in the industry, I've experienced the highs, the lows, and everything in between. I've been on both sides of the equation. I initially started out hiring contractors to do work and then transitioned into owning and growing my own remodeling business, and then eventually helping others grow and manage theirs. I've worked hard to transform not just my business, but the remodeling industry as a whole. So at the Remodeling Academy, our mission is simple yet ambitious. It's to raise the bar for the remodeling industry. For homeowners like you, we are here to provide clarity and confidence in hiring professionals who won't just meet your expectations, they'll exceed them. And for the remodelers, we're dedicated to making them the absolute best at what they do so they can deliver exceptional results every time. This podcast is part of that mission, right? Each episode, we dive into the lessons that I've learned with the trials, the error, the success, the failures to empower you, the homeowner, and the contractor, right? With the knowledge. In this episode, we want to get into the knowledge that you need to make the informed decisions, right? And avoid the treacherous pitfalls. Because when homeowners like yourself are better educated and the remodelers out there are better trained, everyone wins. So for many of you, welcome back, as this is the second part of a series of podcasts we are doing geared for you, the homeowner. So let's get started with today's episode, the Consumer's Guide to Home Remodeling. Avoiding pitfalls and hiring the right professional. You're about to discover how to protect one of your largest investments, your home, avoid the disasters, and find the remodeler who's perfect for your project. Let's dive in. So why should all this matter to you? Some of you may not be aware, but 50% of contractors won't make it past 5 years in the industry. 70% won't make it past 7 years. And 96% will fail within 10 years. Think about that for a second. Like, these aren't numbers. This is a real warning. Many remodeling businesses are only one bad job or mistake away from disappearing, going into bankruptcy, and the failure often becomes your problem as the homeowner because you'll have unfinished projects. Here's the kicker. Many homeowners unknowingly assume that because someone is in business, because they have a truck, because they have a website, that they must know what they're doing. The truth, many contractors are great craftspeople, right? But they are terrible business people. They don't have systems for managing projects, communicating clearly, or even handling their finances. And when things go wrong, and trust me, they often do, you're the one left holding the bag. Lawsuits, liens on your property, unfinished projects. It happens every day. A study from the Better Business Bureau reported over just 30,000 complaints against contractors in 1 year alone, with issues ranging from fraud to shoddy work, etc. Let me share a little example with you of how this breaks down. There was a homeowner in Florida, and he wanted to get a project done. He thought, maybe I'll try a handyman. His neighbor had some work done, so he went with a referral. Usually can be potentially a good way to go. However, it does require more due diligence. In his situation, he was quoted $60,000 for this addition he wanted to do. He decided to pay this gentleman upfront in cash with no contract, no paperwork. Now, long story short, the handyman stopped showing up, and without a contract, the homeowner had no legal recourse and was left with an unfinished project and no money to now hire someone else to come take over the project. Stories like this happen all too often. I want to talk to you about a couple common ripoffs that exist in the home remodeling industry. See, lowball pricing tactics are something that are well executed by many contractors. They are experts at setting the bait, casting that, and hooking you, the homeowner, in with the lure of the discounted remodel. See, contractors that offer these unbelievably low prices do this so that they can get their foot in the door. And then once the project gets underway and they've done the demo, they can hit you with all of the unexpected add-ons once the work starts. Think about it like this. It's like buying a car and finding out that tires, oh, you wanted those? A steering wheel? You thought that was included? Surprise! By the time you realize those are all extras all of a sudden. And unfortunately, in remodeling, you often find out these details too far into the project to back out. Then you get embarrassed, you swallow your pride, you don't want to admit to everyone that you made a terrible mistake, so you just dig in deeper. Happens all the time. Now, there's another tactic that happens. It's the bait and switch. You'll have some contractors that will promise you high quality materials and high quality finishes, but end up just delivering you nothing but cheap substitutes, right? So imagine being shown photos of this gorgeous custom kitchen only to end up with something that looks like it was partially completed with used materials at best. Understand that you should be able to spot these warning signs and red flags as you become more educated about the best way to go about purchasing home remodeling services. And that is part of, again, why you're listening to an episode like this. Another common rip-off scheme in the home remodeling is the contractor who has a lot of unsupported claims. Here's what we mean. They will boast about maybe their extensive level of expertise and how they just stand behind all the guarantee that you would ever need, right? But when a problem arises, they are just nowhere to be found, and this expertise was non-existent. See, look at it this way. A guarantee is only as good as the company that is offering it to you. And if the company that you hire is likely going to be going out of business in the foreseeable near future, then where does that leave you in regards to your warranty? Fourth thing that happens is, unfortunately, many homeowners unknowingly fall victim to believing what they see on these cable TV shows where so many people are now renovating or flipping and improving their home. See, a lot of these shows just, for one reason or another, they omit a lot of details. For instance, when they quote a price like, hey, this bath remodel was $10,000, what they might be saying is, well, maybe they spent that on the cost for the tile and the vanity and the toilet. But often what they're leaving out was what did it cost to get the design done, the permits, how much was the demo, What did it cost to reframe the rotten and damaged floor structure that was below? What did it cost for the plumber to have to replumb the house because the systems were old and out of date, needed to be brought up to code, right? Those details often don't get shared. They get glossed over. They fell into another bucket, right? So you're not always getting the true cost of the remodel. And if you own an older house, it is to be expected that you are going to come into unexpected issues at times, and that other systems may need to be updated as a result of tackling the project that you currently would like to tackle. Some other costly misconceptions that are out there. Here are some common myths that we hear at times where homeowners sometimes think maybe they should wait as long as possible before they go about a project or getting a repair done to their house. And this is often incorrect, because what we would suggest to you is when you ignore issues, if you start noticing problems with certain things like windows, roofing, siding, a deck, that ignoring the problems can often lead to more severe problems and more damage that will just end up costing you more in the long run. So often it's best, as soon as you start to notice an issue, have it addressed at that point before additional damage is caused unnecessarily. Here's one too that attracts and has, for a lot of people, I would recommend you be cautious. A lot of manufacturers and some of these bigger box type stores like to constantly introduce new products, and they often will try to introduce them at an entry level or lower price point to attract attention. The problem often is when something is brand new to the market, the due diligence period hasn't taken place, right? That product hasn't been out long enough to see if it can actually withstand the elements that it's going to be put into, and will it actually perform as well as the product that they're trying to have it replace, right? And often with cheaper, newer materials, we end up discovering that they wear out faster. They don't quite last like they were projected or we were told. And that leaves you as the homeowner now having to pay for labor and materials a second time, because you have to now replace the product that failed faster than you were expecting. Now, some homeowners are of the belief that every remodeling project just will take forever, or that all projects go over budget. And this is another false belief. So when you hire a true professional and you go about with a proper process for a remodel, you can get a accurate price, and you can get a, what we would say isn't a schedule that can be adhered to, right? Professional remodelers, when you hire them to do more of a design phase, right? And you're giving them time and resources, so they're being paid to come up with the design and the bid. That's when you get a package that you know you can trust and stand behind. And when a remodeler is fluent in things like Gantt charts and understands how to link parts of a project together, and when they recognize that they need to allow time for downtime when you're expecting to get inspections, right? And you have permit process, and there could be weather delays. If your remodeler is experienced, those things should be factored and accounted for in your overall schedule. So yes, jobs can actually be done on time and on budget when they are planned and designed properly. All right. Now, how can you go about avoiding becoming the next horror story of your neighborhood with your remodeling project? So we hear this a lot. People would say, well, conduct the due diligence, right? And what would we mean? What are some steps you can take? Well, one is actually find out a little bit more about the person that you're looking to hire. Learn a little more about their personality, their track record, right? If they claim to have insurance and licenses and certifications, verify that those do in fact exist. Ask some key questions. Can we see an example of a written agreement and the details that you will provide us with our agreement. Please share with us how you go about handling the unexpected issues that might come up during a project. We'd like to see what a scope of work looks like. Show us what your schedule planning process is. How do you go about training your staff so that they understand the proper way to secure the product that we're having here and how to have it, make sure it's installed properly, right? Ask them if they're a member of Renegade Remodelers, right? What kind of certifications and training do they and the people that are going to be coming to the site have? And you want to make sure that you're getting things in writing, right? If they don't talk to you about providing you with a scope of work, if they don't talk to you about providing a description of the materials, if they don't talk about how they're going to provide you a schedule that has milestones so that you understand when your payments are due, and if they don't understand what a Gantt chart is or a project timeline, these are all red flags that you should be a good indicator that you might not be dealing with the person who's going to be able to take the ball and get it to the goal line for you. All right. So I want to give you another example of something to be aware of, and so that you don't follow in this person's footsteps. So a woman in California was shopping for multiple contractor bids and was enticed by a lower price contractor, thinking that this is the person who was not adding all the extras that she felt, I don't need that, I just want a nice job. And so she ended up hiring the cheaper contractor, and again, didn't get all the written agreements and details. And again, we encountered a situation, you'll see that this contractor stopped showing up halfway through the project, and it left her with liens on her property from unpaid subcontractors. Yes, that is correct. You could be paying your contractor to do work at your house. The contractor is bringing in subcontractors to do the work, and then your contractor is not paying their subcontractors. So now these subcontractors can file a lien on your property, and you would now have to then go and pay them individually. So be aware of who you're hiring and make sure you're getting things in writing and that they are reputable, right? In this case in California, the woman had to pay an additional $45,000 just to finish the job. And this was after she had already paid the original contractor. So make sure you have a solid, detailed agreement in place. Now, imagine this scenario. Here it is. You've hired a remodeler. This remodeler not only listens to your vision, but executes it with precision. You're updated every step of the way. There are no surprises, no hidden costs, no headaches. That is what it's like when you hire a true professional. Will there be some issues? Probably. Unexpected things happen all the time in this industry. However, a professional remodeler will be expecting those and will be able to handle them in the moment and be able to make everything okay. It won't derail the entire job. At your Renegade Remodeler, we can help connect you with contractors who meet these higher standards of professionalism and integrity, right? They're experts who plan for their success as well as yours. They anticipate the problems and they prioritize your peace of mind, helping you get from start to finish with your project. So, homeowners, if there's one thing that you take away from this episode today, let it be this: not all remodelers are created equally. And the only way to have true peace of mind when hiring a contractor is to work with a Renegade Remodeler, right? A professional that is trained and possibly certified by the Remodeling Academy's affiliation program. Renegade Remodelers aren't just contractors. They are individuals that are committed to mastering the art and science of remodeling. They're dependable, they're consistent, they're trustworthy. They are everything that you need in a world, unfortunately, full of many fly-by-night operators. When you choose a Renegade Remodeler, you're not just hiring someone to work on your home, you're hiring someone who who's been trained to deliver excellence and stand behind their work. So if you want a remodeling experience that's stress-free and a result that's worth every penny, make sure your contractor is a Renegade Remodeler. Look, don't gamble with your home. Trust a Renegade Remodeler and enjoy the confidence of working with a true professional. Until next time, let's find a way to help you relax and enjoy the process of choosing wisely. So visit Renegade Remodeler today and find that remodeler who will turn your dream home into a reality without the nightmare. And you also can find other resources that will help you learn how to best go about the process of purchasing home remodeling services. Remember, home remodeling is an investment, not just in your house, but in your happiness and peace of mind. Don't leave that investment to chance. If you want success, professionalism, and results you can trust, hire an experienced and trained Renegade Remodeler. Thank you so much, and we look forward to having you join us on the next episode. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the HackHour podcast. It would be awesome if you would leave us a quick review on iTunes. To further your remodeling success, go to remodelingriches.com.